Hey guys, how we doing? Welcome to another buzzing chat show here on Buzzing Pattaya, and I'm really looking forward to today's chat. It's all about the pros and cons of using dating websites and mobile applications as opposed to going into the bar and doing things face to face. So before we get into this, I'm going to say straight away, guys, I am by no means an expert in this at all. In fact, I'm pretty actually clueless, if I'm being honest with you, because I don't use these apps. But I know that a lot of you guys watching this channel have in the past, or maybe you still do. So what I would ask is please drop your comments below, share your experiences, share your advice, because that's what makes this channel so special, is the depth of knowledge that we have here. Incidentally, if you haven't already joined, please have a look and join our Discord group, because again, this is a great example of where the group comes into its own. In particular, the fact that we've got so many experienced people on there. We've got nearly 6,000 people on there now. Bar owners, bar managers, people that have lived here for like 10, 15, 20 odd years, plus people that have never been here before. So it's a great platform. If you haven't had a look, please check out the link below and get yourself over onto Discord. All right, so today's conversation is all about the pros and cons of using these dating mobile website applications to find yourself company for maybe an evening, maybe a week, maybe who knows longer, whatever. But we're going to talk about it today. And what I've done is I've done a lot of research. As I say, I'm not very well knowledgeable about this, but I do know a lot of the things that have happened here, and I can share some of this information with you. And I've come up with 8 key segments that I think you should be aware of if you are going to go down the route of using some of these online applications as opposed to going in the bar and doing it face to face. So the first one then is cost. So if you look at the apps, basically they offer you, they drip feed. So what they'll do is they'll put out some clickbait, they'll put out some nice pictures, etc. They'll encourage you to come on and have a look around and wander around and curiosity, etc., etc. So once you've done that, once you've clicked, what they'll then do is present you with profiles of girls. And don't be fooled, okay? Some of these websites will have fake profiles. They will use those profiles in order to get you to come on board and pay your monthly memberships in order to then chat to other normal, real profiles. So don't think every profile you look at is exactly real, because most of them, well, not most, that's wrong. Some of them are not. So the cost application. Well, basically, when you talk about cost, they will offer you memberships for monthly, quarterly, 6 monthly, yearly, and the costs vary. You know, some of them are quite cheap, some of them are quite expensive, and the interaction levels. So what they'll do is they'll say, well, if you pay X amount, you can chat. Great. But if you pay a little bit more, you can see their private photos or private videos. You pay a little bit more, you can video call, etc., etc. So it can get quite expensive. So be prepared. Having said that, if you go into a bar, well, in order to talk to somebody, you've got to probably buy them a drink, maybe 2 or 3 drinks, whatever. You may have to pay the bar fine, and you may want to go off and spend some time. So when you add that side up, that in itself can become quite costly. So if you think about 2 or 3 drinks, 150 baht a drink, whatever, then you're looking at a bar fine. You know, the average, well, not the average, the cheapest bar fine normally is about 300 baht. And in some of the go-go bars, you can be looking at like 500 up to 1500, sometimes a little bit more just for the bar fine. And then you've got to take into account the cost of your accompaniment for that evening. So in terms of the cost, you've got that aspect is quite expensive face-to-face. In terms of the cost on the online apps, it can be expensive, but it can also be a lot cheaper. And don't forget to add into your costs. If you do arrange to meet someone to spend some time with, there is going to be an element of cost involved there. But generally speaking, from what people say to me and from what I can find out, that cost is a lot less than in a go-go bar. So cost, bear in mind that either or, there is a cost involved. Timing. So the timing, so basically with the app, the nice thing about using these dating apps is that the timing will suit yourself. In other words, if you want to arrange to see someone on such a time, at such a day, at such a place, you can do that. Now, be prepared. Some of the girls that use these apps are actually working, so therefore they may not be available during the day. And don't forget, a lot of the working hours here include weekends. So you might be thinking, well, that's okay, I'll meet up with you on Saturday, but Saturday they may be working. So although there is an element of what's the word I'm looking for now? Oh man, I forgot the word. Anyway, what's that word I'm looking for? Compromise. There you go. See, I know I'll get there in the end. There is a compromise, so you can arrange to meet them at times to suit you, and likewise, you know, you might find that their availability perhaps might be limited, especially if they've got a normal job that they're holding down as well. Whereas if you go to the real world, into the go-go bar scene, most of the go-go bar scenes don't start till 7, 8 o'clock at night, so therefore you're already limiting your time, and you've then got to go there. So, you know, it might be that when you go in there, they may not be working that evening if there's a particular girl that you want to go and talk to. So you've got to be flexible in your timing and allow yourself that situation should it occur. You know, you don't want to go into a go-go bar, oh, it's such and such, no, she's not working today. Oh, man. Likewise, on the dating apps, you don't want to be going, oh, can I meet you tonight? No, I'm busy. So the app, I say, would be a little bit more favorable in terms of flexibility, whereas the go-go bars, it's pretty rigid that that's the time they start work, that's the time they finish work, and that's your block, that's your time. So in regards to the app, I would say the app is a little bit more flexible, potentially. Choices. Now this is a good one. So on the app, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of girls. And in the apps, you can obviously use the filters, so you can search for a particular age, a particular location. There's all kinds of criteria that you can utilize their search facilities for. I would say that the girls, I mean, I do a lot of photography for girls that go onto these apps, so I do know a little bit about it. And what they will do is they will just tick every single box. They you know, don't be fooled in thinking, oh, I found someone that suits ticks all my boxes, because they're going to tick all the boxes anyway, purely because they want to get in front of you with the opportunity that maybe that, you know, you'll show more of an interest, and perhaps you can overcome whatever box you ticked that maybe isn't quite the box that really you was expecting to get. So in terms of choice, there are thousands and thousands of girls available, but be very, very careful, because not everything that you see may be what you're expecting, and also, you know, there might be the odd white lie in there, so just be prepared for that. Whereas the downside to the go-go bars, I mentioned a minute ago, is if you go in and the particular girl you've gone to see is maybe busy with a customer, or maybe she's not working, maybe it's a day off, maybe she's sick, you know, you've had to walk through the door. And of course, you know, it can be disappointing, particularly if you built yourself up to, oh, I'm going to go see that girl tonight, and she's not there. Also, when you go into the bar, if they've got 15, 20, 30 girls working, and you know, some of them might be with other customers, some of them might be on a break, some of them might be upstairs eating in the room. You know, there's all kinds of parameters you need to take into account when you walk in. So I think for a bar, it's more about spontaneous. You know, you walk in, sit down, get yourself a drink. Oh, actually, you know, she's quiet. Would you like to come and join me? And you start the process. Whereas online, you do get a huge gallery to choose from. But as I've said, and please be aware that not everybody that you see on there may be available. They may be fake profiles, etc., etc. So just be prepared. Discretion. So this is a really good point, and you know, you might be working, I know a lot of people that work in Bangkok that come down here for weekends, etc. I know a lot of businessmen that do not want to be seen wandering around the LK metros and the beer bar complexes for obvious reasons. So the online aspect, the website and the dating apps do have their advantages there as far as I'm concerned, because you can be a lot more discreet. You can arrange for the company to come and join you in your hotel, and you go off and have dinner, whatever. So there is that discretion, far, far better than if you was to be walking around. You know, a lot of these guys, especially guys in the big companies in Bangkok, it's even forbidden in their contracts for them to be seen in the areas that are considered to be red light areas. So the app there does, in my opinion, way outweigh the opportunity of you being able to walk around. It's far, far more discreet. And of course, you know, not just the businessmen, maybe you're in a long-term relationship, perhaps you're married, and perhaps you're doing what you're going to do, etc., etc., and you don't want to be seen. So, you know, there are those side of things that you've got to be aware of, that, you know, it happens. It is what it is. So in my opinion, you know, the apps are a far safer way, particularly if discretion is your main key point. Accuracy. So, as a photographer, I can tell you now, I can pretty much hand on heart tell you I can see a photo that's been photoshopped and I can see a photo that's natural. And there are a lot of key aspects to looking when you're trying to see whether or not they've been photoshopped. Look for the hair. Okay, the hairline is a really, really good indicator as to whether or not a photo has been photoshopped, particularly if they're using what's called a Gaussian blur, which will give it a smoother complex because it will fade the hairs together. So have a look for that. Have a look for creases, okay, creases, eyes, elbows, wrists. There are always creases there. So if the creases have disappeared because they've used another blur, again, that gives you a bit of a tip as to what you're looking at in terms of the photos. Also, be prepared for some of the photos that maybe lead you down the pathway of thinking that you're talking to a lady, may actually be a lady boy. You know, these things happen, so be prepared. Don't think you're going to go swimming in a swimming pool and there's no sharks around there that are going to nip at you, because you might find that you're going to get bit. So be prepared for photos. I'm 21. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to present yourself maybe younger. I don't have any children. You know, I work in a bank, and I really do look like this. So the accuracy on the app, I think, is a negative because it's so easy to manipulate that information. And of course, if you arrange to meet somebody and you chip up and you're like, yeah, no, sorry, love, not you. I've come to see someone else. And you go, no, that's me. And you're like, holy hell, what's going on there? I know it's happened. I know people that have told me that these things have happened. So be prepared. Don't expect what you see online to be what you're going to meet in person. So obviously the Agogo bar side of things is far safer because you are going to get exactly who you're sat with. You know what's coming your way. So there is no ifs or buts. Obviously, regarding the issue to ladyboys, well, then you need to be a little bit more careful there if that's not your thing. So, you know, that's down to you to work that one out. But the point being is that the accuracy on the websites is far easier to manipulate than it is in real life. So just be prepared for that. Reliability. Now, Thai people, not just Thais, but, you know, people in general have an opportunity sometimes to arrange to come and see you, and suddenly, oh, do you know, I really can't be bothered, I don't really feel like it, or I don't feel so good, or maybe something more important's come up, or other options are more attractive. So be prepared to be let down. There are situations where you might go to see somebody and you're going to sit there like, you know, just waiting, and unfortunately they don't turn up. So the reliability of people being able to meet you when they say they're going to meet you is far less than the reliability of walking into an Agogo bar, sitting with someone and say, right, get your coat, love, you've scored. So again, the Go-Go bar kind of makes that issue a little bit less likely to be left stood high and dry. Having said that, you could say to a girl, look, you're busy today, or I'm not in a position to spend some time with you today. I'll come back tomorrow and see you. Number one, they've heard that a million times. And out of that million times, maybe 10 people come back. So they take that with a pinch of salt. Yeah, okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, bye-bye. As if. Don't be offended by that. They hear it so many times. And I'm sure you know, I've done it. I've said to people, yeah, I'll come back tomorrow and see you. And I don't go. And I'm sure you've done the same. So the reliability issue of saying to them, I'll come back and see you tomorrow, doesn't really work. So when you've said that to them and they've gone, yeah, okay, mate, whatever, don't be offended if when you do go back that they're not there, because they are working. So if somebody's there, right then, and says, hey, can I pay the bar fine? Can we go off and have some fun, enjoy ourselves, go have food, whatever? They're going to say yes. They are not going to sit there and go, well, actually, somebody's coming to see me later, so I'm going to wait. They won't do that. They are going to disappear. So the reliability, I think, on this one is pretty hit and miss for both. You know, the app and the actual Go-Go bar. Be prepared to be let down. There is a strong likelihood that when you do arrange, possibly they won't show up, or when you do go back, possibly they may not be there. So reliability, what I would say on that one is be prepared for no-shows, and if things work out, well then that's a positive, rather than thinking, yeah, I can't wait, I'm going to go and see her tonight, and then you're like, oh man, she's not there. So be prepared for that aspect. Ladyboys and Lies. This is where I think the apps fall down, because The ladyboy aspect, if that's not your thing, and each to their own. Listen, I've got no issue with whatever your choices are. But if you're not into the ladyboy situation, you might find that the girls on the apps may be a ladyboy and not disclose that. Now, I know some apps are very strict on it. They've got to send in their ID cards to try and stop this, which is a great thing. But, a picture of an ID card, a picture of a picture, it's not exactly difficult to manipulate that, is it? So be prepared that you may be talking to ladyboys when you think you're talking to a girl. Likewise, the lies. Hey, have you got any children? No. And she's got three bin lids running around in the back garden. Have you worked in the bar scene before? No, I work in an office, but really she's upstairs on her break, eating her somtam, ready to go downstairs and do another shift on the stage. So the lies are very, very easy to manipulate. Likewise, if you're going to get into an online discussion, an online relationship, so you might be back in the UK or back in America, wherever your home country is, you might go onto these apps and you might strike up a conversation with somebody that you find suitable, and they might be saying to you, "Oh, I feel really down today." "Why? What's up?" "Oh, my mum, she's very sick, and the buffaloes died for the 5th time, and the tractor for Papa's rice field doesn't work anymore, and we've got no money, we can't afford it." They will say these kind of things. And listen, each to their own. Take every opportunity that you can. It's up to you whether or not you trust them and believe them, and it's up to you whether or not you send them any money. But all I will say is this: don't be surprised, and trust me, they can work this system far, far better than we give them credit for. So, be wary is all I'll say. I'm not saying don't support anyone, I'm just saying be wary, because it may be a situation where you're going to be, the old heartstrings are going to be plucked, and you're going to go, "All right, I'll send you some money, it's okay." Just be wary of the amount of lies that you can be told. Whereas on real face-to-face in the go-go bars, if she says, "I haven't got any children," she's got loads of stretch marks that are clearly evident that she's had a baby, all these kind of things. And listen, it doesn't matter if someone's had a baby, it's irrelevant. I'm not saying you've got to look down on someone because they've got a child, but what I'm saying to you is that it's harder for them to lie face-to-face than it is online. But don't expect no lies face-to-face, because, come in and, "Why, what's the matter?" "Oh, I don't want to talk today." "Hey, what's wrong? Come on, do you want a drink? Can I get you a drink? What's up?" "Oh, Papa, he's sick. Mama, she's sick." Or, "Oh, my chicken's got eaten by the dogs," or whatever. They are going to play on your heartstrings. Remember, this is a business, okay? It really is. It's a business. So they're going to utilize every opportunity they can to extract money from you guys. The last one then, the pitfalls. So the pitfalls I see in an app far outweigh the pitfalls of face-to-face. So you might be in a really good situation where you're feeling very positive, very happy, you're communicating with your newfound friend and everything's looking really good, and you're going to come over to see them, you've been supporting them financially, and suddenly you're gone. Where's the profile? They've disappeared. No answering online, no answering on Facebook, you're blocked. No answering on the dating app, you're blocked, etc., etc. And that can, and has done, cause a lot of people huge upsets. It's like having the light on, light off. It really is as black and white as that. So again, you've just got to be very wary that there is a possibility, if things go pear-shaped or she loses interest, that she may just switch you off. You might find she's had a better offer. This is a business, like I've said, so be prepared for the light switch on, the light switch off. You've been blocked, you've lost all contact, you can't speak to anyone, it's disappeared. It will happen, it does happen, and sadly it can cause a lot of upset, particularly if you're into this now and you're thinking, "This is great, I can't wait to come over and see you," etc., etc., and you find yourself home and dry with nothing. It can be quite devastating. Whereas face-to-face, it can happen, but it's less likely. If they're contracted to work, well, then they're going to be there. They may not want to sit with you, they may blank you, they may go off upstairs and hide until you've disappeared, but in general, that aspect happens far less than it does online. So there's really sort of like my idea. So cost, the timing, the choice, discretion, accuracy, reliability, Ladyboys and Lies, and pitfalls. They're just a few of the things that I think you should be aware of. particularly if you are going to dive into the online dating world, the online applications that we have here. You know, it really is something you need to be aware of. But like I said at the beginning, guys, you know, listen, I'm by no means an expert on this at all. My knowledge of actual real life interactions have been very little. I've only done it once. That's when I first was back in England. I came here, I went back, started talking to a girl on online, and I came over here. We went up to Bangkok, and it was just a disaster. And from that day onwards, I've never used them. So I'm not really very well versed in giving out, you know, hard facts, hard experience, and sharing that with you. But I know you guys can. So please, if you have had a positive or you've had a negative, please share it below. Also, if you can recommend any of these websites and dating apps that you've had a particularly good experience on, that you think is safe, please don't just drop any old name. You know, if you've used them and you've got confidence in the app, please drop it below. You know, let us know. It's always great to get other people's perspective on what we're talking about. All right, so I'm sorry the background was a little bit boring today and you've had to stare at my ugly mug all day, but I didn't want to walk around. It was really quite worrying because I know I can get distracted, so I didn't want to do that because this is quite a serious subject, and it's one that could potentially cost people a lot of money, and I don't want to diversify onto other topics. So there you go, guys. So as I say, please drop your comments below. If you haven't already, join our Discord group. 6,000 people nearly on there that can share experiences and help you with different things like we're talking about today. Have a look at our members area on YouTube. If you are a member and you've got one of our membership packages, please send me through your digital picture and I will send you back your digital ID card. And fingers crossed you'll be able to come out here in the not too distant future, and we can all meet up and have some fun. All right, guys, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. Please, as always, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I bring out a new video. Please check out our members area, check out our Discord, get yourself involved. It'd be great to have you on board, and I look forward to seeing you in another video in not too distant future. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and please, as always, stay safe.